guys, welcome back to Tune Guru. In today's video, we are going to learn how to hold a few basic chords, some of the most essential chords. We're going to learn how to read a chord chart and also grab onto a few strumming patterns that we can use throughout. Without wasting time, let's dive straight into it. Holding chords is basically one of the main functions of a guitar player. Basically, when we are playing, we have two ways to approach. We can either play lead, which are tunes, or we can play chords, which gives us rhythm as well as harmony. Again, chords are some of the most essential things to learn, and some of the most basic ones are the ones that you're going to be using through most of your journey, guys. So let's get started. We have chords basically in two types. We have major chords and we have minor chords, right? So we have open chords, we have bar chords, and we have power chords. We're going to start learning with open chords. The approach for playing chords is one where we're going to be using multiple fingers on the same frets and also on frets in and around. We're going to start with one of the most simplest chords to play, which is E minor. For E minor, what you're going to do is place your middle finger on A string fret 2 and place your ring finger on D string fret 2. Now, like I said, we're going to be having multiple fingers on the same frets, right? So we need to be able to space out our fingers nicely so that we're not really overlapping one on top of the other or creating any sort of discomfort for ourselves, which will make it more harder for us to hold the chord down and get a clean sound. So what you can try is use this sort of an approach, right? So this is basically a step approach where the string below, the finger with the string below is a little more further than the string which is above. In this case, my ring finger will be slightly more further on the fret compared to my middle finger. So if we look at it, it looks like a step formation where one thing is below and one thing is above. One more thing you want to keep in mind is make sure when you're holding the chord, none of the other strings are getting touched by your fingers, right? If that happens, we're going to get a muted sound like this. We don't want that, right? To make sure all the notes are ringing out nice and clean, we're going to hold down the chord and we're going to pick each and every string just to make sure that each and every note is nice and clean. So something like this. Nice clean sound, right? That's the sound you're aiming for. This is the E minor chord, guys. After this, we're going to be learning an E major. An E major is very simple. We're going to maintain the same shape and add our index finger on G string first fret. That makes it an E major chord. Something you're going to be realizing through your journey is that a lot of the same shapes are repetitive, right? When we're playing guitar, repetition is key for us. It helps in a lot of different ways. There are certain shapes that you can memorize which will transform into multiple different chords and makes your entire journey a lot more simpler. Now, if you take this exact same shape and you move it one string down, so instead of holding the G string, D string and A string, we're going to be holding the B, G and D on the same frets, which is second fret on D, second fret on G, and your index finger is on first fret B. That will make it an A minor chord. Again, make sure it is nice and clean. For certain chords, we need to avoid playing certain strings. For example, in the E major and E minor, we get to play all 6 strings. But when we come to A minor, we want to avoid playing the 6th string, which is the low E. There are multiple reasons for that. One of the reasons is if we add that, it is going to create unnecessary low end vibration which is going to distract the sound of the chord. Listen to this. I'm going to play all 6 strings now. So basically what is happening is the lowest sound that we're getting is from the E note and not from the A note that we actually need for this particular chord, which is your A minor chord. Now very simply, we've seen A minor. We're going to take a quick look at A major and then move on to the next part of the lesson. A major is basically 3 fingers on the same fret. You're going to be holding B string on the 2nd fret with your pinky finger, G string on the 2nd fret with your ring finger, and D string on the 2nd fret with your middle finger. That's going to give us an A major chord. So far we've seen E minor, E major, A minor, and A major. Like I said, start with just doing one pick. So basically just do a downstroke and an upstroke. If you are not sure of what that is, you can go back and check out the videos, which is the basic introduction to guitar playing, in that we cover all of this. So again, I'm going to play it one by one. Now in the next part, we're going to learn how to read a chord chart, which will help you unlock all the different chords that I'm going to be talking about today. So all the information is going to be on your screen. Now if you look at your screen right now, you will see a box which resembles your fretboard in a vertical formation. You will see one line which is really dark. That is going to be the nut, basically this little piece over here on your guitar. All the lines going downwards are basically your frets, and all the lines going from left to right are your strings. Your low E is going to be on the left side and your high E is going to be on the right side. Now if you notice, you will also see numbers on the image. Those numbers are referring to the finger number that you won't need to use. Basically, like again, if you have no clue about that, please go back. We have all of this explained in our previous videos in the beginner lesson. Finger 1 is your index finger, finger 2 is your middle finger, finger 3 is ring, and finger 4 is your pinky finger. So the numbers mentioned are the fingers that you need to use, and you need to look at the boxes and identify which fret and which string. Now for example, on your screen you will see a formation of an E minor chord, which is telling you number 2 on the A string and number 3 on the D string, which basically means middle finger on A string and ring finger on D string. Now we're quickly going to see another example with the A major chord, where you will see an X marked on one of the strings. Basically, when you see an X marked, which means you do not need to play that particular string. Like we discussed earlier, for the A major and A minor chord, you need to avoid using the 6th string, which is signified by the symbol X on your screen. We're going to take a look at another few chords. We're going to take a look at the D major chord right now. A D major, as you can see on your screen, you have number 2 on the high E string, you have number 3 on the B string, and you have number 1 on the G string. Make sure you identify the frets correctly. For context, it is 1st string 2nd fret, 2nd string 3rd fret, and 3rd string 2nd fret. That's the formation. You will see an X on the low E string as well as the A string, which again signifies you do not need to play those particular strings for this particular chord. It's going to sound something like this. Again, please make sure you get good clean sound. Now I'm going to give you a small list of chords that you need to learn till your next lesson and come back. The chord charts are going to be in the description also. The chords that you need to learn are G major, C major, D minor, all the other chords that we've seen so far, which is your D major, E minor, E major, A minor, and A major. You're gonna find all the material in the descriptions below, so please make sure to check that out. Now we're quickly gonna take a look at one of the most basic strumming patterns that you guys can start using and start shifting chords with. So basically we have two approaches for playing chords. We have strumming and we have arpeggios, which is what we took a look at in the start, which is playing each and every note of the chord independently. You want to be fluent with both of these as a guitar player. One of the most simplest strumming pattern you can start off with is just do 4 continuous downstrokes. Your goal for the next few days is gonna be to be able to shift between chords fluently. With that, I mean without stopping the sound, right? So we don't want something like this. You want to avoid that break. You want to make that break as short as possible, something like this. Some of the most efficient shifts you can practice is going from G major, C major, D major, or you can try one more where you're going E minor, C major, G major, D major. You can also go for E minor, A minor, D major, G major, and any sort of combination that you can think of. This next few days you really want to be able to shift between chords as fluently as you can with minimum shifting time. So there you have it, guys. This was your lesson on how to play some of the most essential basic chords that you can learn. And when I say basic, is just because it's very easy to get started with these chords. But as you keep going further on your journey, you're going to discover how much you're going to be using all of these basic shapes and how these simple shapes that you're learning right now are going to transform into being able to play a lot more challenging chords as well. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Please ring the bell notification so that you get notified of the next video coming up in our ongoing series. And let us know if you have any doubts or you have any questions with the comments below. We're going to be replying to all the comments as much as we can and as soon as we can. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.